If you have questions, concerns, and are just lost when it comes to planning for retirement, meet Steve Hoyle and Derrick Caldwell of the Hoyle Financial Group.
Now, most people think they're doing the right thing by saving into their 401k, and they are. But here is the kicker. A new study found that the average American worker ends up losing about $93,000 in hidden 401k fees over their lifetime. And the Department of Labor even warns that just a 1% difference in fees can reduce your retirement savings by nearly 28% over 35 years. That is huge. Now, the late Jack Bogle, the founder of Vanguard and a big advocate for keeping costs low, said it best. Take a listen.
Do you really want to invest in a system where you put up 100% of the capital, you the mutual fund shareholder? You take 100% of the risk and you get 30% of the return.
Well, and that's before taxes even come into play. So, Derrick, are we just stuck in this system, or is there actually something people can do to keep more of what they've earned?
Yeah, absolutely, guys. And I urge everybody to take control of your money. Guys, y'all know in the 401k system, we have to play by the rules a lot of times, but there's ways to get out of that. You know, if you have a 401k from an old employer, it's in your control. You can roll that over to wherever you want to. If you're over 59 and a half and your 401k is with your current employer, 90% or most 401ks allow you to do an in-service rollover while you continue to work. Don't be stuck with what 401ks give you, guys, because 401ks are designed. They're designed a certain way. And, they hit the nail on the head here with fees is they have an internal expense that most people don't know about. And that's what you need to take advantage of my 401k X-ray on, because, guys, it will kill you. And they don't have to tell you any of this stuff other than send you a prospectus out. And that's that 20-page form that you get every year or two, guys. And when they make changes that you throw in the trash. I'll tell you right now, nobody's reading that stuff they send you. And so when you get that, there may be 0.5% to 1% fees built in internally to your 401k. But when you get your statement, guess what? It's not on there, and you won't ever see it on there. So it can really impact, especially when most 401ks are in that 5 to 8, 9% range annually. 401ks are designed to be passive investments. You just shovel your money away in there, and they try to do something in a passive way that they can't really do very effectively, which is grow your funds and protect you, right? I mean, that's what they're designed to do in a passive way. Most of these are lifestyle funds that as you get older, they automatically throw more money into bonds, and most people don't even know. I do risk tests all the time for people that their portfolio in the 401k might have a score of 50, which on a scale from 0 to 100, guys, that's how much risk is in their portfolio. And their risk score is at 80 or 90, which means for 10 years or so, they've been taking on less risk than they want to, or the opposite's true. They're taking on more risk than they want to. Meanwhile, they're getting charged fees in that, and they feel like they have no control, right? That's the biggest thing with 401ks that I hear time and time again. I don't have any control, Derrick. I have these 10 investments to, pick from, and meanwhile, all of them have huge fees in them, and I don't like any of them. And that's frustrating for everybody, but take control of your money, put it where you want it. That's the thing is hire advisor, don't hire advisor, whatever you want to do, which I tell you, you will get your money's worth hiring somebody to help you. If I need plumbing work at my house, guess what? I'm not a plumber. I'm not doing that. I hire somebody to do that. And we are all great and fantastic at the skills and jobs that we have, but don't try to do something that I do 60 hours a week and try to do it 5 hours a month. It's not going to turn out well, guys. So take advantage of this opportunity. Come in. Send me, you don't even have to come in right off the back. Just give us a call. Send us your portfolio statement, your last 401k statement. We'll do analysis for you, and let's sit down. I'll tell you the good, the bad, the ugly, and I promise you, you'll walk away with information that just blows you away. Something you didn't know that you were getting, in your 401k, and let's show you what you can do differently and take control of that money. That's the biggest thing. Don't feel like you have to take what they give you. That's not the way you should feel when it's your money.
So, Derrick, you've seen it. I've seen it. It's people out there trying to drive and text at the same time, or they're checking their emails, or they're scrolling social media, or I've even seen people watching Netflix while driving, which is absolutely crazy. And it's not just annoying, it's obviously very dangerous. Last year alone, distracted driving was linked to about 3,000 deaths and over 400,000 injuries across the country. And that's why 29 states have stepped in with their hand-free driving laws. So this got me thinking, Derrick, we see something similar when it comes to saving for retirement. A lot of folks set their investments on autopilot using things like target date funds or robo-advisors. And while those tools can be helpful starting out, there comes a point where you've got to take the wheel. So, Derrick, when does it make sense to stop relying on those automated strategies and start working with a real human being?
Casey, I told you target date funds, right? We just talked about that, and your question just throws it in there. Yeah, it's time, guys. Like robo-advisors and everything. Let me ask you something. Casey, do you think you could talk to your robo-advisor about estate planning or taxation?
I probably could, but it scares me.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they're to the point they can answer basic questions there, AI stuff going on. But yeah, I mean, sitting down, I'm an old school kind of guy in the sense that I'm a handshake guy and I like to meet all my clients and learn about them, right? And, you know, I have a couple of clients that are more concerned about tariffs than others. I got people who are more concerned about leaving a legacy behind than others. Everybody's different, but I know that. So if I see something that impacts in their worry or their retirement or anything like that, then I make a move, right? I'm their advisor. My job is to advise them. This robo AI stuff, you know, unless you log in and spend hours with them, maybe you'll come around to some sort of basic conclusion. But after that, it's turned off. So when a tax change happens that affects, let's say, legacy planning, AI doesn't call you and tell you, hey, you remember 2 years ago we talked about this? Yeah, absolutely not. And they are there to do a passive form of investing that just basic alterations to your portfolio that you can quite frankly do yourself. I mean, that is not what they're designed to do. And they are nowhere near the level of advisors, including myself or anybody else out in our field, of what level of service and the scope of knowledge that we have. You know, that's never going to happen in the sense of that. I mean, we talk about life insurance. I help people do Social Security, Medicare changes, things like that. That's what makes the difference between a good advisor, a bad advisor, robo-advisor, whatever it is, you know, I always tell everybody in our education classes too, is like, if you want somebody to grow your funds and you come to me, you're an easy client to me. Really. That's the easy part of our industry is, okay, we're going to put you in portfolios and we're going to do these changes. And when we're very active management strategy, but that's the easy part. When you retire and you need an income plan, you need a tax plan, you need to know Roth conversions, how much income can I safely take? I want to set up 529 plans for my kids. All that stuff is the harder part. Most advisors in our industry don't even want to touch Social Security and Medicare. It's a nightmare. It changes all the time and everything, and clients are always so frustrated about that. But here at Whole Financial, we take that bull by its horns. That's what worries our clients and people in the Texas Panhandle, across, whether you're in Dallas, Austin, wherever you are. That's what people call us about. That's what we focus on, is the full-blown retirement plan and taking care of not only you today and your wife or kids today, but 30 years down the road. And no robo-advisor will ever be able to do that, plain and simple.
Now, Derrick, you were just mentioning annuities, and we've heard a lot of opinions about annuities lately, especially from the financial celebrities. Now, money coach Tony Robbins recently spoke out in favor of them. He likes the guaranteed 5 to 7% returns and the lifetime income features, especially for people who don't have a pension. Now, Robbins pointed out that people who dislike annuities are usually talking about variable annuities, which are different from fixed index annuities that he recommends. So, Derrick, I would love to know your thoughts here.
Yeah, I'm actually in agreement with Tony Robbins there. I heavily favor fixed index annuities, and he's right. I mean, 9 times out of 10, if we have somebody that comes in and wants me to look at an annuity or just have a bad taste in their mouth about annuities, it's variable annuities or annuitized annuities maybe. But yeah, 9 times out of 10, it's variable annuities, which are traditionally very high in fees, and they really limit growth potential, and they're trying to do too many things. Really, they're designed to kind of be doing an average of income, an average growth. And meanwhile, they're costing you anywhere from 1% to 4%. I mean, it's brutal sometimes, especially on the older variable annuities. So you got to know what you have. And that's something that I definitely am in agreement with old Mr. Robbins there. And yeah, if what we do in our portfolios, fixed index annuities are a big place and a part of what we do. And really what we're asking for a fixed index annuity in our portfolios is 4 to 5%. Tell everybody the same thing. That's what we're looking for them to do. And they're incredibly well at doing that. And most of the time, yeah, you could get even higher rates there. We have clients that have experienced anywhere from 12 to 14%, which is not the average there, but you'll have great years like that. And you'll kind of get blown away and fall in love with them. And then the next year's, 4%. But that's what we're asking for them to do in their portfolio, because it's doing that. It also lowers your fees. Most fixed index annuities, if you're using them for growth, have no kind of fees outside of just internal expense. And the income side of it, they can produce way more income than most variable annuities, and by far higher than the market can. So we use them as a pension device too, a lot of times, to increase the amount of income that you can get, because the income you can get off a fixed index annuity are anywhere from 7 to 10% a lot of times. And you can't get that in the market, guys. I mean, if you're looking for income, they are a fantastic tool that you need to talk to us about. There's pros and cons of every investment that's out there, guys. And you got to make sure that it fits your lifestyle and what you're doing. But more importantly, it's a piece of your portfolio designed for a specific reason. And so that's always what I go back to, that, hey, we're going to use this for safety. We're going to use this for income. We're going to get 4 or 5% out of it. And it's fantastic. And the clients love it, because we're not asking it to do market-like returns. We have our market assets for that. We're not asking for it to have, tax-free income or anything else that planning. They are there for very great reasons in your portfolio. But the first thing is knowing why. Why do I have this? Right? Let's do a, first 5 callers, guys. I'm going to do an annuity comparison, annuity analysis for you. Bring us your old annuities. Let's look at them. Even if you got them a year ago, let's look at them. I'll tell you the good, the bad, the ugly there, and tell you, hey, this is what this is designed to do and what you should be using it for. Then let's look at the rest of your portfolio and make sure that you're where you need to be within your portfolio and your allocations, and tell you, hey, no, you need to make a move. You need to do something different. There's fantastic annuities out there, and annuities sales are over trillions of dollars annually now, guys. I mean, the cat's out of the bag. People are starting to use them really effectively as a piece of your portfolio, and it's a fantastic tool. You just got to make sure you know what you're doing, and make sure you partner with somebody that you trust, that's been in business for 34 years like us, that you know the ins and outs of it, and make sure that you get the best annuity out there, the best solution for you.
Well, let me ask you this, Derrick. Is it ever too late to start thinking about annuities if someone's maybe already in, or maybe they're nearing retirement? Is it too late?
No, absolutely not. I mean, we have annuities that you can get on the fixed side, which is fixed guaranteed annuities that have some fantastic rates right now that are generally much higher than CD rates at your local banks. And those you get up to like age 95, guys. So it's always about enhancing your portfolio. Even if you're looking at your bank money, we do the same thing. Like I mentioned, we have generally 3 big tiers we lean on there, and we want to make sure at your bank you're getting the highest rate. So we will help you with that. Your annuity, we're making sure you're getting the highest rate on your annuities. Your markets, right? I mean, your market assets, make sure they are enhanced, make sure they're actively managed and working for you. All of that stuff is what we do here at Whole Financial, because you need all that. You need emergency money. You need annuities, you need market growth, you need all that. The days are long gone where you stick $1 million in a 401k and start, just chunking money into your checking account and blowing it, in retirement, or, you can't do that without a plan, guys. That's what it goes to. And having one type of asset, that's 20 years ago. That's not going to work anymore. And there's so many different ways that you can enhance your portfolio. And most of the time, Casey, it's little tweaks. Hey, we're going to put this into annuity. We're going to put a little bit more in the bank. We're going to do a little bit more income, a little less income, that kind of thing. But those tweaks are what people pay me for. That's the difference between having a successful retirement and eating beanie weenies. So
There you go. That's right. All right. So, Derrick, we mentioned it is Mother's Day weekend, and former NBA star Jeremy Lin can certainly thank his mom, Shirley, for bankrolling his early career after he graduated from college. She was a guest recently on his podcast, and I thought this was such a cool story. Take a listen.
One day you call me and you're like, hey, Jeremy, so I found some money. Don't worry about where it's coming from, but I found some money. I'll give you 2 years to chase your basketball dream. But after 2 years, if it's not working out, then you need to call it quits. I said, okay, good deal. I got 2 years. I'll do my best. I never asked where that money came from. You didn't tell me until 7 years into the NBA. And when I thought of it, I was like, you know what? Where did that money come from? Because we had no money. We exhausted every last thing just to even get me through Harvard. So I was like, where'd you get that money from? And that's where you said, I took it out of my 401k. And that's when it hit me 7 years after making the NBA, where I was like, wow, you gave out your retirement fund for me to be able to chase my dream. The ultimate sacrifice story.
It's okay. You pay me back anyway.
Yes, it was a good investment on your part.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, Lin made $65 million in his 9 seasons with the NBA, so his mom's gamble did pay off. But this story aside, Derrick, what warnings do you give clients when they ask about withdrawing money or taking a loan from their 401k? Because I'm sure it doesn't always have such a happy ending like this story did, right?
yeah, there's always with finances and 401ks, your IRAs, there's always the hidden costs. Right. And I'll kind of go into that because this is a story I literally tell at our education classes. We do them all over Texas, and our education classes, there's a part where I go into this story. And so very much like Mr. Lin there, my parents gave me advice and everything growing up, and they also gifted me McDonald's stock. So,
That's right.
Yeah. So McDonald's stock, and I tell this story a lot because it's so impactful, but I sold it for like $3,500 because I was 18 years old and they gave me McDonald's stock, and I thought I'm going to go buy a Mustang. So that the other day I was going through everything. It was about a year ago now, and I found the receipts from that transaction. And that, because I keep everything, hoarder, I guess. But yeah, so that stock today, and that was about, as of 6 months ago, would have been over $80,000.
Wow.
So time value of money is something that we never see, that we think in the here and now, and we don't think what we give up. So when you're doing things like that, you may be taking $3,500 out on a loan, but you may be giving up $80,000 like me down the road. So on top of that, if you're under 59 and a half, guys, the IRS will absolutely destroy you when you take money out of a 401k and IRA. You're talking upwards past 30%. With that penalty they have on you and everything, it will just destroy the money you get. So let's say you get half of the money. I mean, already you've lost so much in taxes when you're doing that. And when you're taking out a loan in your 401k, a lot of those don't let you contribute anymore until you pay back the loan. You're losing out on time, investments. You're losing a ton more than that $5,000, that $10,000 you take out. So I urge everybody to always think in the future. Think about what you're giving up. And if you ever want to know, call me. I will tell you. I will run analysis on what you're giving up and tell you, hey, 5 years from now, that $10,000 would be $32,000. So that's what you're giving up by taking that money. So does that remodel in the house look that good now? Right. I mean, that's always, we live in the here and now. It's really hard to do that. Even for myself, a lot of times you have to kind of stop and think about what you're giving up. And that's something we do here at Hoyle Financial all the time because the numbers don't lie, everybody. So you just got to know what you're getting into when you do things like that. And I'll go a little bit step further, and this may be a little rough, but it's like you don't have the proper assets and allocations within your portfolio. In other words, where's your emergency savings, guys? Where are your bank assets? You're going to take a loan from somebody and pay money. And there's instances you have to, right? Mortgage, right? Casey, a few people have $500,000 to throw at a house these days, right, in cash. But cars, maybe. But other than that, you do not want to pay interest. You want to be your own bank. Borrow from yourself. If you have $30,000 in your bank savings account, guess what? Then you can get that remodel of your house done. That's a good time to do it. When you have cash available, you have that emergency savings properly built up, you're not going to pay anybody else. All you're going to do is pay yourself back for using your money. And that's the hardest thing sometimes to look at. Don't be a slave where you feel like you have to go in a certain direction. You have to take it out of your 401k. Emergencies happen, guys, but there's always a trail of events that lead you to where you are right now. Let's stop those trail of events right now. If you don't have money in a savings, you're thinking about doing a 401k withdrawal, I'll tell you the good, the bad, the ugly. Then you can decide. At least you have the information. You can decide, do I want to really do this transaction? Do I really need a new car? I tell you right now, I did not need that Mustang.
But you had fun, I'm sure.
I did, but if you ask me today, as an older guy, right, that's not so fixated on Mustangs, I could have used the 80,000 way more.
Was the fun worth 80 grand?
Exactly. So come in and see us. We'll do a loan withdrawal analysis for you guys on anything that you're thinking about, even just a simple phone call. Let me run the numbers for you to figure out exactly what's best for you and partner with a professional like myself to tell you what are you giving up. And let's get you into our budgeting class. Let's sit down and talk about how you can eliminate this need in the future today.
If you'd like to sit down with Steve and Derrick or a member of the Hoyle Financial Group, visit retiretexasstyle.com.
Investment advice offered through Hoyle Wealth Management, a Texas-registered investment advisor able to provide investment advice in states where it's registered, exempt, or excluded from registration. Content contained herein should not be construed as an offer or solicitation for investment advice or for the purchase or sale of any security, insurance, or other investment product. Investments involve the risk of loss, including possible loss of principal. Please consult with a qualified financial, tax, accounting, or legal professional before implementing any ideas or strategies discussed here. Content provided is obtained from sources believed to be reliable but cannot be guaranteed as to its accuracy or completeness. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance products, including annuities offered through Steve Hoyle, Texas Insurance License 716036. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties. Steve Hoyle is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Steve Hoyle is licensed in your state, please call 806-371-9473.